You guys hear me now? Yes, you can. I hope you guys are doing good. Happy Monday. Is it? We will get started in a minute. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I know Mondays are always Mondays in America. So I hope you guys are getting settled in for the evening. We are just a few minutes late, but wanted to make certain that we got on because apparently things don't take the weekend off anymore. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I know a lot of people are in positions to consider moving abroad, and it has gotten interesting. I feel like if you guys haven't paid attention, and for at least for the most people, they may not know, but when you go to move abroad, you're probably going to start off on this side of the world. I know so many people are looking at Thailand and Indonesia as places to go, and it's. I always just tell them, just make sure you know what day it is and what time it is where you're looking to go because time differences matter. So in places where people are not considering moving somewhere with a drastic time difference, there is a number of places that is on this side. There are a number of places that is on this side of the world that many people may be looking at. And some of the top ones are uniquely enough have been under attack for the last 7 days. And you might say, oh, what are you talking about? Well, I believe the Gulf of Mexico may be considered to be named the Gulf of America. Dead Mexico, very, very high population of Americans living abroad there. Um, Panama, we're going to take back the canal. Panama, definitely high on the American expat list. And then yesterday's news, Colombia was all in it. Even something going down to as small as Colombia being spelled with the U on different places. And people were like, what are we looking at? So, looking at the last 7 days and what has transpired, you guys okay? I'm a little overwhelmed and I'm not there. So, to be in a situation where you are there. I will tell you from the outside looking in, both as an American and based off of what I'm seeing in these chats, and I'm on Colombian Twitter and everything else. It's not a different Twitter. You just wouldn't follow some of the people that I probably follow. And I say that is because people are like, nobody's mad at Americans or America. They're just realizing what they're dealing with. And some people are positively accepting these things, and other people are like, what is going on? And I say a lot of people are like, this is definitely a little weird considering it's day 7. And down here, we've been literally counting the days because you have to take them one at a time. It's hard to believe there may be 358 days left in the year. And we have the ability to watch them unfold one day at a time. So this topic out here tonight, regards to Monday, is why I left. But you guys are starting to realize maybe why I left. Every day I get to look at the news in America and see things that aren't normal where it is that I am. And I'm not saying that anywhere is perfect. It's just a lot of weird things going on there, both from uh, access to certain things, how much things are starting to cost. All of these things are starting to be not even topics, everyday occurrences that you have to actually consider when going outside. We like to say, it costs $100 to go outside, but is that sustainable? Things keep going up. The cost of goods keep going up. Going into the new year, one of the things that was mentioned a lot was tariffs, what that could impact for consumer goods. And even with this weekend's news, he said, oh, we're going to tax Colombian imports 25%, 50% if they don't do what it is we need them to do in the right amount of time. But some of these guys are like, well, that's on them. It's really not. I'll tell you why. Because so many Americans actually don't know where their goods come from. They just go get them. You guys, I'll give you an example. Not sure where you are, but they have Whole Foods. If you know what Whole Foods is, it's like an expensive grocery store with better quality food. Well, when you guys go to Whole Foods, the next time you're in the fruit section, you are going to see that a number of the fruits that you love, oh, I love those Whole fruits, they come from Colombia. They come from Colombia. Other things that come from Colombia, obviously coffee. You guys drink a lot of coffee that has probably made its way through here as well. Somebody said in the chat today, a lot of flowers come from Colombia, which I did not know, but makes a whole lot of sense because they have a flower festival here in Medellin. It's always nice here, so you'd be surprised when and it's not even it's mine too, but it's just unfortunately we're all Americans. So whoever's the president is the president. We can't do anything about that other than try to figure out what to do in a situation where leaving and moving abroad is a possibility. I think that call and that knock is starting to come a lot louder than it has been in the past, both past years, past months, past days. That is where we are, where things are unrolling in a way where my reasons for leaving, they're always going to remain stagnant because I've already left. But I have to realize that you guys might have these reasons for certain. But then there's so much more that you guys may be starting to go through that I just didn't have to go through when I was there, and things change fast. I've only been gone for almost 2 years, not even a full. And to be in a situation where I've spent only a year and some change out of and seen so much change so drastically. We've all got to, be able to tap in with you guys, excuse me, and try to give you something, because I don't know how these things unroll, what the actual landscape of it is on ground. Now, as a person that used to be in it, I know exactly what it feels like. Um, I know that my my family, my friends are still there, so I have to be considerate and concerned about the things that are going on. But there are a number of different things that we're going to hash out here tonight. Now, these are all reasons why I left. They may not be the reasons why you left, but I'm certain that you may find some similarities in these things because you might not know the terminology behind, the feeling that you keep going and things keep cost more continuously. However, you guys don't run into a scenario where you're getting any more money. Things just keep costing more. So what happens is you can actually afford to do less. Excuse me. Now, afford to do less, that could come down to what you buy, so stuff and things. That could come down to that. Some of you guys may be open already to not just trading your life for stuff and things. You might be open to more experiences and travel, but even as your basic necessities. I think the internet topic for these days is the price of eggs. How much are eggs where you live at? Something as basic as eggs. One egg, how much is that? 12 of them. Now we're talking, we're getting a little deep now. Apparently, that's what I'm hearing. The cost of eggs is outrageous. Cost of eggs may be more than what the federal minimum wage is, depending on how many eggs you're getting and where you are. So, looking at these things, when you realize that when we talk about the American rat race and escaping it, it's what's going on, Mike? It's about escaping something that you may feel is starting to feel like you're actually living in water that is continuously rising, and your ability to swim out of it is continuously getting closer and closer and closer. We always have heard the term, making ends meet. But what if there are no longer enough ends to make them meet? People are now living in America under situations where they're going to a job full time and don't even have a place to live because that's how much things cost. Never mind a 401k or Social Security or even what's in your bank account and savings. People are just barely able to actually afford a house, food. Hopefully, the house came with the refrigerator because if you have to purchase that, you have to do that also. Like, there are so many things that you're running into where it's like, are they paying you at the rate where they're increasing the cost of the things that you just need to survive? That was one of the biggest concerns for me because I was in a scenario where I was in South Florida. I was not in anywhere crazy, wasn't on the water or anything like that. I was still like 45 minutes from the ocean. But I would say $8,000 to $10,000. Like, that's how much it just cost in South Florida to live. And anybody knows and lives in South Florida with your car insurance, you know, it adds up relatively quickly, and it's only gotten more expensive, more expensive for certain. Now, not the average person is going to be able to pay that because you don't. Some people don't have that, but that was where my life was because I was in a situation where accumulation of stuff and things, and being able to say I had a nice car, live in a nice place, so you go and eat whatever I wanted, where I wanted, those things, and I looked up and I realized like, okay, I can keep doing this, but they just want to keep raising everything. So, a lot of people that live abroad, and not saying everybody, but a lot of people that go move abroad happen to be entrepreneurs. So when you talk about entrepreneurs, nobody's giving you any money to show up anywhere. Nobody said, hey, you did your job today. Good job. Giving you your hourly wage or your salary. There is none of that. So you actually have to go about creating your paycheck. So if you're not an entrepreneur, perfect. You still have to go about going to work. But if you are, and this consideration is to you, you have to go create your paycheck. So if they continue and you just do the same thing, you do it well and you make good money, but they just keep raising the rates. So you're not necessarily getting an increase in wages. Maybe you can charge more if you were in a consultant or something like that. But anybody that happens to be in sales, they may not be paying more. They might be paying even less as things progress. So we look at all of those things, and I said, hey, I could keep doing this. I'm 37 years old. I can keep doing this for the next 30 years and then retire. But will I ever get to where it is? Will I ever save enough money? Will I ever be able to experience enough things based off of how much they're paying me? How much time may be given off at your jobs to be able to see other things, experience life? It was like, I don't think I'm ever going, like maybe. But a lot of these people, people are really good at this. And they create these false, I think it's a false reality. And I say this is because it is very easy to point at the people who made it because you can see them. Oh, well, yeah, that's probably not true because so and so made it. Well, that's not true because so and so made it. Not realizing at the same time that they have to individualize down to so and so over here because all of the other people that didn't make it, you can't see a room full of 1,000 people and pull out 10 people and be like, you see how successful the room is? What are you talking about? 10 people in that room made. It's 900. It's 990 people right now. That's the one. That is the 1%. You're gonna run into a scenario where it's gonna say, "Yeah, because the 1% made it, I can too." That's a part of the American dream that keeps so many people in America. It keeps you guys disenfranchised and disillusioned with what actually is life versus what they woke up. When you woke up here, they said, "Hey, this is the program. This is the program." Get into the rat race. Listen, you need to work, and then we got some money for you when you get old. We're gonna give you some money, but make sure you got this thing that's called a 401k. And that 401k thing is not even like, what's that, like 1 to 2 generations old? Like, how many years do your great grandparents remember having a 401k? How many grandparents do you go back where they say, "What the heck are you talking about, grandson?" That's not brand new stuff. People even talk about credit scores. Those are all things that are like, so you wake up here and they say, okay, be a part of the rat race. And you're starting to realize now as bags of groceries cost $100 a bag of groceries, gas is $3 a gallon. Things start costing more that you actually need. Price of eggs. Like the fact that the price of eggs is a conversation is a testament to how the bare necessity things are starting to cost too much. But you know they're not going to give you a raise every year. Do you guys stay at how long have you been at your job? Have they given you a raise every year? Let me ask you, when you actually look at that raise and you think about, I say, I remember bags of groceries, even still high considering how old some people may be, but even like say, let's call it $50. $50 a bag of groceries, right? Think about it. It was a time when there was a $50 bag of groceries. But when you actually consider when that time was, it wasn't that long ago. It actually wasn't that long ago. And so many people have gotten used to the microwaveness of them giving you this money, increasing the cost really fast. And then you look up and it's like, well, how do we get to $100 a bag of groceries, but they're not paying you at the wage of $50 difference? In the last 2 years, did everybody get a raise to be able to pay double the amount of bag of groceries in the last 2 to 3 years? I know most of you guys did not, but you know what? You just do it. I told my boy Smoot that today. I'm like, I pointed out so many things that he was like, you remember when you used to get mad about this? Remember when you were upset when gas went to $3 a gallon? And people were like, how are we ever going to get to work? How are we ever going to afford enough gas to get to work? They're not even paying me enough. Well, gas is more than $3 a gallon now. And guess what you guys are doing? Getting to work. You guys have gotten comfortable, which you had to. It's a bare necessities. You got to pay your money, but that leaves you no time for anything else. And it's like, if you don't escape it, when do you get out of that? Is it when you go play box straight, whatever that old lady say at the gas station, and you win the lotto? You hit the number. Does that win? I don't know, because most people are on a path where they're just going to keep doing what they did the day before, and they're going to continue just doing the exact same things, and really wanting different, longing for different, but never be able to afford it from a financial perspective, from a time perspective. Even if you got the money, American often doesn't even give you the time to live life. Ladies, how much paternity leave at your jobs do you have? Excuse me, maternity leave. Fellas, just because she carries a baby don't mean you're not the daddy. How much time you get off? Is it enough time to actually know the baby that it is that you are supposed to be in charge of or raising? Give you 4, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Ooh, what is 8 weeks between parents and children? Seriously, does that ever end, or you just keep going with the program? That's where you guys are at right now. That was why first thing I had to do was escape the American rat race. I knew I needed more for my life. I had already left Philadelphia at a young age and knew that I was going to be somebody that was like, you know what, I love Philadelphia, but I'm out. I want to see more of what the world has. And I didn't go far. I went to Atlanta. Then from Atlanta to Florida, and Florida to Colombia. Seems like a long time, but it didn't. It didn't seem like a long time at all. It seemed like exactly what I needed to see at the times I was going to see it, and I felt like South Florida prepared me to live in Latam for certain. But I knew that I had to break free. Um, I got a bunch of brothers and sisters. I got a mom. I got two moms. I got a mom, dad, two brothers, 3, 4 sisters. It's a lot of people in my family. I say that to say I knew that I just wanted something different. I knew I wanted to see the world from a different perspective, not the Philadelphia lens, not the even the American lens as my curiosity for these things. And I knew that staying in the American rat race was not going to afford me the money because I had to pay all of this money for all of this stuff. And just basic necessities, never mind the treats that I wanted to provide for myself, the things that I saved up for that I provided value to. And I said, you know what? This actually makes me feel happy. And I got it, and then it was just whatever it was, a car, house, clothes, all of those things. But I said, if I want something more from life, here's my opportunity. I need to escape this rat race because I'm never going to be able to catch up unless like some big windfall happens. But the likelihood of that happens, I wasn't willing to bet my life on it. So many of you are, but I was not willing. I was not willing to bet my life on whether or not I was going to hit some big windfall. And all of a sudden, it was just going to be easy. And think about this. Think about how many people win the lottery that didn't have any money, that grew up every day playing lottery on the way to work, how many of them ended up, one, broke, two, unhappy, or three, broke and unhappy? Broker than they were before they thought they was broke. No friends, no family, no nothing around them. So realize maybe the money is not everything. I need it to survive. I need to be able to purchase things, but I can't. You can't go. You can't go to your job and say, "I give y'all $1,000, man. Put 5 more PTO days on the books for you, boy." You can't. They laugh you out right out of HR. And then they're like, "Okay, well, I'll just take the time off, unpaid." How long are you gonna be able to do that if you ain't got no job? So you really are in a situation in America where it's like they don't want you to know what's going on outside of America. So they keep you there as much as possible. People ask me, Colombians ask me, oh, they don't come for like 10 days, 15 days. Americans, which y'all got in there, Thursday to Monday. Most trips are going to be Thursday to Monday. 7 days is a treat. How many of them 7 days trips can you take a year, even if you got the money? How is your job going to let you take it? No, not at all. So you guys have to consider this escape from American rat race comes down to, do you want to see the world or not? Do you want to keep paying money for bare necessities, looking and really glancing hard at the price of eggs? That's a yes or no. And it is rhetorical, but you have to ask yourself that and give yourself a yes or no. Yes, I want to keep doing this. I love the rat race. I love running in place. Gets my cardio up. That's the only thing I could think of that running in place is going to do for you positively. Seriously, for your heart. That's your cardio. Yep, that's it. Because I mean, running in place has shown you what? Think about all of the people that you know. Think about the people that you know that are older than you, that didn't have one of these conversations at a younger age, and now regret, and they say, "Man, I just wish I could do those things again." You got the time that they don't have. But if you just keep following the path that was laid in front of you, then you are going to end up in the exact same scenario. So the question is up to you. Do you escape the American rat race? Or do you just continue to play around in it? It is up to you guys. But that is one of the biggest reasons why so many of you are at a crossroads right now, because you're like, I can't afford for them to keep raising the cost of bare necessities and they're not paying me anymore. Never mind that nobody can buy a house. Like, we grew up playing the game Monopoly only to really be living in it. Welcome to Baltic Avenue, guys. Welcome to Baltic Avenue. Seriously, more corporations own houses in America than people. It's actually insane. It's actually insane. But let's get on. Because you know why? Because I'm gonna hit another nail. Food quality. Y'all are eating lab-grown meats. I didn't make it up. That's what the USDA told you. Said, hey, this is all good. The FDA said this is perfectly fine to eat. Americans love this. They won't even know the difference. Tastes like chicken. Grown in the lab. You guys are in a situation where politics is even affecting the food. Regulations being rolled back on corporations to no longer do the right thing by just making certain the food they give you is quality. Think I'm lying? Did you not go through half the year not being able to eat certain foods because it wasn't safe? Couldn't even get a good deli sandwich. Boar's head. Stay away from the turkey meat. That's not normal. Things happen, yes. But with politics and corporate greed, you are running into a situation where they're going to feed you whatever the hell is going to make the most profit. It's no longer about keeping you healthy. You know why? Because the moment you get sick, your ass going to need some health care, and I got some money for that too. They feed you terrible things to get you sick, and they have all interest in it all. Think about it. Just think about it. There's this thing, and anybody that knows about it, it sounds exactly like something that would be going on. There's a underground LA Starbucks, and it's just for rich people. Yeah, they got a whole highway under this thing, but it's just for rich people. Why do you never see Will Smith in traffic? I don't live in California, but let me know, y'all. Is that true? I say that is because it's like they're wanting to feed you guys anything, but I'm certain to find out where they're eating at. Because there's no way that rich people are willing to go for a lab grown meat. Like maybe as like I'll try it at some fancy like dinner party, but I'm not feeding my children that. The food quality is actually going bad. I remember in South Florida, the pandemic, it was bad. I kept going back to the grocery store and returning groceries back because they were just bad. They'd be wrapped up all nice. Go to open it, fish scale, stank. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? You guys have to consider like the food quality affects so many things. Yes, taste. Yes, what it is that I like to eat. Yeah, it's going to taste different. But most of the things when you come into food quality are, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like, does your body react positively to the food that you're eating? I know when I go back to the United States, most of the time, like the last couple of times I was home, I couldn't eat a cheesesteak because my stomach hurt. Chicken, it's toughy. Chicken make my stomach hurt, like because it's like, what is this? Never mind, never mind this, right? When you go abroad, you're gonna see something that is immediately should make you concerned about what you eat at home. Most people go to the grocery store like once every 2 days max. You guys are comfortable and used to going to the grocery store on Sunday, getting food for the week, and it lasts all week. Produce, the fresh bread. Nah, I don't know what the hell is in that stuff, but fresh food does not last that long at all. But the preservatives, you guys love those bag rices. Little bag rice you get from your supermarket. 3 minutes, you got Mexican rice, you got rice and beans, you got jambalaya, all that stuff. Yeah, nah. My dumb ass came down here looking for it. Not realizing I was going to poison myself in another country. I'm like, where's all the rice? All they got is white rice, and brown rice. That's it. White and brown. It's like, yeah, they don't give people that kind of stuff here. I'm in Medellin, Colombia. Somebody asked me where I was at. I am in Medellin, Colombia. Yeah, they do not give people that stuff here. And even if you do get something that has high sodium, high sugar, it will tell you, hey, bro, don't say nobody warned you. Even the cigarettes. I grew up seeing cigarette ads and commercials. The cigarettes here got a dude with all his teeth missing. And say, here's a cigarette. This is going to do to you. Disfruta. Enjoy. Seriously. They're warning you like you are putting terrible things in your body. Now, I'm not saying these places out of the country are perfect at all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I am seeing a deliberate effort to take care of people with the food that is actually abundant and available to them because they need healthy citizens to be a country. They don't need sick citizens. They need healthy citizens. Seriously. You guys are in places where you're going to go in the spring after winter, and it's going to be a bunch of pollen everywhere. On the trees, on the cars. Allergies are going to be terrible. I will tell you that there's plenty of grass and everything else, and pollen and all of that stuff here. But the reason why they keep having all that pollen in these neighborhoods in your cities is because they don't want fruit to grow on these trees, y'all. Fruit grows on trees in Colombia. There's a male and a female tree out here, but they keep planting males. And males, Even though we're talking about plants, they're the very exact same. They're looking to sow their royal oats. So they're just spreading pollen everywhere. Spreading pollen everywhere. And that is why your cities are yellow. Your politicians, for some reason, don't want you to get a free meal on the earth. So they want to make certain that, even if it's fruit, they going to get a dime on that. So food quality, food availability, the food that they're giving me does not last 30 days and 30 nights like your preservative filled food does. Think about what that may be doing to your children. How do you expose kids to things that maybe adults are used to and can fend off, but young children are? So everybody knows it comes down to whatever it is that we're eating. So I'm like, I can't keep eating these things. I'm going to be like, everybody's got cancers of some sort there. It's just like, what are we doing? They actively don't give people the food. There's so many foods that are allowed in the United States that are just banned. Even something as basic as McDonald's French fries, other places just potatoes, salt, and like one other ingredient. The ingredients in the United States that it does not even like get old. It just stays French fries for the rest of its life. Not it's French fries. It's not. It's like that. Is that a potato? No, it's hydrocarbon. You guys are putting terrible food in your body just by living there and paying a premium to do so. Food in the United States is not cheap, yet you guys are paying a premium for food quality that they will not serve in other places. Think about that. Think about that. Let that marinate with you, because it's something. It's literally outrageous. Because when you go out of the United States and you guys go to Jamaica, it's like, oh, the food was so fresh. So what is your food? If their food is fresh, what is your food? Unfresh? You can immediately tell that there's a difference and a difference that you like. So think about that. Number 3, I talked about your kids a little bit because you got to bring people in and understand, like, because so many people are looking and like, well, I have kids, so I can't leave. It's like, can you afford to stay? Never mind not being able to leave, but what can you afford to do in America with children? Never mind even being an adult, but just children. I grew up. Went to elementary school, middle school, high school, all 3 of those, even daycare. You know what we had? A fire drill. Fire drill allowed us, in the case of a fire, which is not probable, but it could happen. So we need to be prepared. Um, Tells your child where to go. You used to go, get in your little line outside with your class, and they'll count you down, make sure everybody's here. Boom. That's what I grew up with. That's what most of you grew up with. However, your children are growing up with that. And they are now having mass shooter drills. They're like saying, hey, there's a likelihood that there's somebody. So what are we going to do? We're going to give them bulletproof desk. What do you guys mean? Like, I don't have any children. I wouldn't want to raise a nephew, any kid that I care about in that place, because it's no longer a place where your safety is actually of serious concern. Anywhere you go, the grocery store that you're paying $100 a bag for, you can get got. At the gas station, when you're paying $3.50 a gallon for regular gas, you can get got. When you're praying and saying, Lord, please, can I figure something out because I don't have enough money to even keep the lights on, you can also get got there too. Like, where can you not get got in America? Would you believe that that's not normal? You do believe it. You know why? Because somewhere in your little head, you remember when that wasn't normal. It's normal now, but you remember when it wasn't normal, it wasn't a thing. People used to go outside and play. People used to watch other people, kids in the community, and say, hey, no, don't do that. And they'd be like, yes, man. It's gone. Never mind the adults that are at nightclubs. I lost people in one of these situations. Like, it's actually crazy to think that this has been normalized and nobody seems to care. It's just a part of the news. Today was Monday. If you watch the local news, I guarantee you saw multiple mass shootings in your city, never mind on a global scale. 3 people were shot in one place. That is a mass shooting. 5 people. The Eagles won last night, and some woman drives into a bunch of people with a car. Then she's sitting there in a mugshot like, yeah, you dumb. You are dumb, but this is normal. It's not the first person driving into a bunch of people, but it doesn't even become like, I can't believe that happened. It's just, yeah, you dumb, or this that BS that I was talking about. But what are you supposed to do? Stay in the house, not enjoy yourself? We the luckiest Philadelphia Eagles and Phillies fans in generations. Well, we got 4 Super Bowls appearances, one and a possible. Phillies don't won the World Championship. You World Series. You think the Philadelphia Eagles fans are not wanting to be outside? You think people don't want to be outside and enjoy these things? If they got to go outside every time you step outside, you got to go out with a question mark. Is somebody having a bad day? I don't even know somebody. But if they're having a bad day, it might be on my last day. How do I actually take a deep breath? How do I actually relax? Like, how do you not live in a state of constant tension and fear that I could be the next person on the Summer Jam screen? Like, what are y'all doing? That was what I was thinking. What am I doing? Let me put this on you. What am I doing? Because I gotta live through this. Every time I go outside, it could be the last time. Is that normal? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. That was before I left. I didn't know, but I had a feeling it wasn't. I had a feeling. But I didn't know because although I had spent probably more time in the United States than most people that travel in one country for a lot of time, like multiple times, I had never actually, I knew I always was going back to South Florida. So I got used to the culture and the language and things, but I wasn't there. And that is important because so many people think, oh, well, I go to this place all the time, so I know what it's like to live there. Like, no, you don't, bro. Like, no, you don't. You've got 37 years of America in your head. You think all of a sudden because you went to somewhere 5 times, 5 days apiece, that you know what the culture, like everything? I'd be a liar if I told you I know everything about Colombia because I damn sure don't. I see stuff brand new every day, and I'm like, okay, the more you know. Because you know why? I'm new as hell here. No matter what, you're going to be new. And then no matter what, even if I spend the next 37 years here, I'm still going to be a person that came from somewhere and have still these things that America has taught, both good and bad. I'm hopefully a lot less of the bad that I came over here with, and so many of you people are willing to come bring it with you. And I'm like, you guys need to chill out right now because you guys are used to calling other people third world countries. You guys love that word. America, America should have had that word somewhere in the anthem because you love it. Yet you don't even know what a third world country is. Think I'm lying? You think a third world country is a place like Colombia, a place like Mexico, and place. You guys think that, right? You most first of all, I'm not saying that you can't, but the majority of Americans actually can't read. Not a majority, a large majority, like in the 40% range. These people cannot read. Would that be of a first world country? So you guys, I realize that just because America brands itself as a first world country doesn't mean it's actually taking care of you as the citizen of said country. Maybe they're the greatest country, but are the people in the world, their quality of life, the greatest? Go look that up and then see where it is that you fall. You know? So when you talk about what you're used to there and where I live, it's completely different. I don't deal with mass shootings. Do people get shot? Yup. but not 50 at a time, not 10. If 5 people get shot at a time, at one time, most of the time it's usually 5 people that had something coming. Now it's not all of the years of Colombia, but now a lot of people aren't outside thinking about somebody walking into a park and just start to shoot people at will. That would be really like, why would anybody do that? That's normal where we from, and it's like that's not okay. So I challenge you to think not that somewhere else is a third world country, but maybe, just maybe, you're living in a third world country. If 40% plus percent of your citizens can't read, if nobody has access to healthcare, you get 14 paid days off with a good job, 6 weeks of maternity leave and 4 weeks of paternity leave. You don't even know that, baby. So tread lightly with the word third world country, because you guys are run by a businessman that wasn't that good at business. And you guys forget that you want your country to not treat you as if it is a business. You want your country to be like, hey, they sick. We should help them. Not like they sick. Can they afford to pay us to get unsick? People aren't even being born at the rate that they're playing with the people that are already here. They treat the people that are here bad and say, "Where's have some more babies?" We don't have the time. We don't have the money. It costs me more money in daycare than it costs me for my house. This is what y'all deal with. So maybe one of these reasons are the reasons, but maybe you got a laundry list of other ones. Who knows? Now, with said money that you're not going to be spending on basic things, guess what you're able to do? You are able to travel. See, travel is a thing that is isolated to the United States in a way where, because we're so big, they like you just explore the great outdoors in the United States. And they don't give you any time off to see any place. So people, if you take 14 days off to go to Europe, good for you, but you better be at work every other damn day of the year. You get one of those a year. How long is it going to take you to see the world with one of those a year? 2 5-day trips a year. How much can you actually see in 5 days? Everything's got to be in a microwave. So, getting out of the country, it will allow you to travel to a number of places for cheap. A lot cheaper than what it is y'all paying to travel in the state. I saw somebody say the price to go from Philadelphia to Miami was higher than the price to go to Philadelphia to Jamaica. Like it was like 450s, 475 for a flight to Philly to Miami, and it was like 250 to get to Jamaica. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. I tell people, I'm like, listen, the prices outside of the United States for flights are outrageously lower than the prices for them in the United States. I'm in Medellin. I can get from here to Cartagena. One-way flights are like $17. Cali is like $20. Places like even San Andres is probably one of the farthest places you can go in Colombia, and flight might be like $135, $150 round trip, and that's a 2.5 hour flight. And you do got to pay entrance fees. So I think it's like $35, but it's not that Philadelphia to Miami flight. And this is just in Colombia. Aruba is like $150 to get there. Ecuador 150. Costa Rica is like 230. These places would cost $600 for you guys in the United States. So not only is it more expensive, it's like everything. Once you get behind the curtain and understand that life is not supposed to be like this, it's like why America is actually charging you a premium for terrible food quality, actual no health care, actually being in a scenario where you can get clipped at the market. People don't even go outside anymore the way that they like to go outside because you have to worry about that. And then when you do, you got dummies doing stuff. So many people I got to go to the Super Bowl next week. Shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles. Go make sure that is put on this one. Shout out to the Eagles and everybody in the Eagle Nation. It was a bunch of us down here in Medellin, which I was surprised about. But so many people are actually about to go to Super Bowl. And somebody at the first of the year completed a whole incident out there. That would have been a place that they would have probably been like, you know what, Birmingham Sugar gonna be shut down for a while. People died. It's just like back to business. But what if that's you? What if it's you in it? Just back to business, like that's how America carries on. There's no memorial, there's no memorial. It's just let's just get back to business. We gotta get back to making money, baby. We can't let that stop us. You get right back to it. So it's like, yeah, you get out and you get to see this stuff, and it's like, yo, hey, you know that extra $5,000 that I'm not spending on? I can spend $1,000 a month and probably go see 3-4 countries one new place every weekend. $1,000 a month in flights and probably less, and get 4 new passport stamps in 1 weekend if I was actually in 1 month if I was actually motivated. You can barely get from New York to LA, and you got to catch it at the right time. So it came down to what was okay. I'm gonna take this money, but what am I gonna do with it? Am I willing to actually get a better quality of life? See more of this world that I only got a little bit of time to see before you need it back. Oh, Mr. Ron called me. My cousin, Mr. Ron, called me. He said, Raj, I got gout, man. My elbow this big. I said, you got gout? You ain't even that old. What the fuck? Mess around, you can't do what you think you're gonna be able to do. Or you're like, everything ain't promised. Y'all think, oh well, when I get old, but what if you don't get old? I'll do it in a little bit. What if that time never happens? You know how many folks I've lost already at 37 that was my age and or younger that never got even to their 30s, even to their 20s? Like, why y'all acting like y'all got all this time to be playing with America in this BS? That's what it comes down to. Y'all got infinite time. Everything that y'all do is trading time. I keep telling y'all that. You spend time with your family. You spend time with your friends. They say you spend it because you spending it and they don't ever come back. I spent 80 hours at work, 80 hours to get X amount of dollars. And how fast do it go when you get it? 80 hours. Everybody say, oh, you only get 24 hours in a day. So how many days is that in the week? And you 80 hours, 60 hours at work away from time, from friends and family? Can you get it back? No. Can you change the trajectory that you're on? Yes, you can, but not playing a game. You are looking for a shooting star if you think that you are going to attain the American dream. You may be watching this. You might be like, that guy don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to get the American dream. And you might be the one to get it. But the rest of the people that's going to watch this ain't going to get it. You might be the special one, but it's not set up. If everybody win, then what's the point of winning? Just keep working hard, bro. We gonna get there. You gonna get there. You gonna get there. You gonna get there. And you look up and you 65 years old and you did not get there. You spent all your life in your city. Maybe you went to New Orleans, maybe you went here, but you don't even know what life abroad looks like. You might not even have a passport. How do you know that the truth that you woke up here with in America is the actual truth and how your life is actually supposed to go? Unless you leave, nobody's saying you can't come back. But most of us that leave realize that they was lying and they almost got me. I almost spent my whole life giving myself to what it is that they was telling me. And look in the first 7 days of this new administration, and you telling me that you're going to go put it back into their hands? A lot of y'all didn't vote for Main, but a lot of y'all did. Matter of fact, a whole lot of y'all did. Some are still happy, but in 7 days, a lot aren't. And it's 358 days left. He just getting started. The cost ain't even going up yet. Y'all don't even know. He went down 25%. You guys don't pay. You guys don't know because they just gradually been doing it. But imagine if you woke up and y'all say, hey, the eggs is $7 a dozen. Now if they was 14 for 12 eggs. Do you know how many people I know that don't know nothing about no chickens? Said, man, we need to get some chickens and start planting some fruits. People are already starting to think like, what's going to happen? So you got it. What you calling? We got some things coming out. I'm gonna be putting out some things in the next couple of days. I do have some work from home jobs that we'll be able to like give you guys some insight on. There'll be a list that comes out. Do my best to get it updated as much as possible because that is probably your biggest thing right now. A lot of you guys are like, I don't know how to move abroad if I can't make money because y'all asking me what jobs are available for you in Colombia, and I'm like, you're thinking about this all wrong, my boy. Completely. I personally would, if you have the ability to make money in US, even 30,000 a year, that would be really tough in the United States to get by on. You would be doing a lot better, a lot immediately. You just have to make that online. So you could actually take a job abroad or take a remote job that pays you less than what you pay in the United States and move abroad and live a better life than you were when you were actually making more money. That's how bad it is. Seriously. Seriously. It costs like what, $100,000 a year in Atlanta for a single person? They saying six figures as if that wasn't the requirement to get in the boom boom room. They say, oh, when I make six figures, I done made it. Now it's the requirement to just be alive in the city. How does that work? I have no idea. That's why I left. And that was 2 years ago. I left before the bags of groceries was $100. I seen the BS on the horizon. He said, you can stay here and renew, or you can figure it out and just see. In worst case scenario, you come back. When you see me with a shirt that says, I'm not coming back, remember you saw it here first. Now, the number one thing, in the top, we'll talk about the 5 reasons and why I left. We went over 5 or 4. And number one thing, I needed to see what a different culture was like. I needed to challenge myself. I'm a left-handed person, so I've always been challenging myself in some ways. Say that anybody knows I got to figure out things for make it make sense for me. But I always wanted to challenge myself because even though I have not been to college for 15 years, I'm always learning new skills. And with a new opportunity to move and literally probably, I'm certain, I'm for sure, if I have one child only, that child is going to be completely different than everybody in the family. They're going to look at the world differently. They're going to have access to things that we did not grow up having. They're going to go so much further than me because they're going to be able to get started not in their 30s. They're going to have a foundation that my parents and their parents before them was not able to set because of the challenges of living in the United States. So I knew whether I had no kids or I have a bunch of kids, I knew that I deserved to be able to give the family that I was going to be able to have and say, we are going to have a chance. Maybe I woke up here and the people before me just woke up here with it, but I would be taking their sacrifice for granted if I had the opportunity to do better. So getting out of the country gave me an opportunity to look at life differently. But when I got settled, I realized that I would have been in very bad shape should I have not seen the world in a different perspective. Very much so. Learning a new language, even the way Spanish is spoken, it's a love language. I was an English major and learned it's a love language. I think Italian is one and French, but um, they sound pleasing to the ear. People will describe love in a way that is completely different. People throw around love in the United States as if I love this. Shout out to Alicia. You don't love her. You had to tell the homie, you don't love her. Stop saying you love. Stop. You don't love her. Really. But language is such a beautiful language where there's so many different words for the different kinds of love that you guys have. Never mind just the challenge of learning a new language. And what the thing is with Spanish that I had to learn quickly because I learned a good amount of Spanish in Cartagena. But learning Spanish in Cartagena is like, and living in Medellin is like learning English in New Orleans from Master P and going to go live in Boston. Like I'm living in Cambridge now. Like everything is slower and clearer. People use like whole words. Like in Cartagena, it's relatively like the South. People are like cutting words off, speaking a lot. They're actually speaking faster. Where in the North, speak slow at a regular pace, but not necessarily like fast. We always used to think Southern people would speak, a lot slower than we were. And speaking of slow, never mind just from a linguistic perspective. But I tell people and Americans, no one is moving as fast as America. You guys have to move that fast. You guys have to move that fast. And it's so funny. It's like the dude, the little. Have you guys seen that meme? I mean, it's a video. It's this Indian guy. He's a street food vendor, and he's working his little vendor thing, and he moving fast and slow at the same. And he moving real fast, but he's not actually doing anything. He's just like, and he's just moving his hands, but he's not actually moving fast. That's what happens a lot of times in America. You guys are really moving fast and getting absolutely nowhere. You're not going fast. You're exhausted. You're starting to sweat, and you're not doing anything. You're not building equity. You can't buy a house. The house ain't even yours. The property tax is getting raised to the point where if you don't get paid property taxes, well, guess what? It's not your house anymore. It's like the illusion of owning things and the illusion of the dream of the White House with the picket fence and the dog and the kids. They're all like, hey, and the mom stays home. No, that doesn't even work anymore. You need two, if you got three salaries just to be able to say, okay, we all right now. How many people got two people in the household? One. How many are grown as hell and got a roommate? No hate, but I'm like, do you need to get a roommate at this time? Because things are getting progressively worse. So when I got out here, I realized nobody's moving as fast as the United States. I had to get used to how slow things were, but in a good way. You know why people aren't moving that fast in Colombia and outside the United States? Because people are not motivated by money to the point where they're going to give up time with friends and family just for money. Yes, they got to go to work. Yes, they need to get paid. But shout out to Daniel Luque, Capital M Law. My man, I think he probably from the 1st of December to like the 15th, and I did not blame him at all. Normally, in America, we're trying to work through Christmas, work through holidays to get things done because that is what we need to do because we have to be able to get it done. What if you didn't have to just work all the time? What if you weren't just one paycheck away from being homeless? What if you would get a job that you could actually afford to at home because you might be homeless right now? You go to work 40 hours a week for somebody and they don't pay you enough to actually put a roof over your head and food and for you to get back. And then them dumbass, we all family at this place. I can't eat. How are we family? You don't even pay me enough. You know where it is that we live and you don't even pay me enough. I've been in those situations. I know what that's like. So to understand and see people that weren't just motivated by money were moving slower because they could afford to. And not from how much money they had, because they could afford to realize that their life could not be a situation where all they were focused on was getting money. That's the number one reason that I wrote down when I first got here. But it's even more evident now because I realized as my friends and my family dynamics changes, I live further and longer out of the country, seeing better on who is aligned with who I am versus my presence, because I'm no longer there. Anybody that knows me, I got homies I talk to all the time. Then I got people I don't talk to probably because I'm not there. And I'm over in a place where I'm not about to move as fast as y'all want me to move, because now that's how I am now. Because I'm going to enjoy my time. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to wake up and get to what it is that my business is on this world, and not get it into what it is this world got me to do and what they told me what my business should be. So, day 8 is tomorrow. What do you guys do here? Put all of that in the past. Nobody's here to knock what you did in the past. But with this information, what are you going to do now? Every day I can get on here and say, did y'all see that today? I know y'all saw that. Did y'all see that today? I can get on here every day and say that. But when is enough going to be enough? When it gets too close to home? When the house is on fire, is that when you run out? You don't smell smoke right now? The opportunity is here, y'all. The choice is yours. So many of us have already made it. So many of you guys are, let me stay on home base. Let me make sure I'm safe. But you're not even safe. That's the weirdest thing. You're not even safe, but you are seriously considering that moving abroad could be unsafe. But you're not even safe where you are. Bullets are whizzing past your head at libraries, grocery stores, churches, concerts. You go celebrate the Eagles winning, somebody run you down with a car. Like, you want to be safe? I think being safe may be meaning it's time to leave, because thing is safe about the states. Now, from a physical perspective, you got to worry about that. You can eat your way to death. The last was killing y'all last year. The Boar's Head meats was killing y'all because they keep rolling regulations back because everybody is so worried about how much money they can make and not worried about, hey, these people got to eat this. There's people that are citizens that everybody want to get together and put all their love and all that behind the Olympics, and we are all one, and let's sing the anthem. You stand for the anthem, and the anthem don't actually stand for you anymore. Veterans go out and get their legs blown off and come home to people that don't even give them a job. Don't even give them the dignity enough to say thank you. For when they get over there, they realize, why are we even here? So many of you guys are telling me that, hey, are you safe? I appreciate it. Listen, I get so many people that reach out to me, my friends, because the news is concerning. The news is definitely concerning. And what people don't know is that my safety here is probably a lot higher than your safety there. I don't think that the police are going to beat me up if I go outside. I definitely do when I go back in the States. That's a fact. But you do. Nothing. Nothing. You fit the description. I don't even live in this country. How did I fit the description? And this happened. I just landed today. So many of you guys are saying, I don't want to move abroad. Is it safe there? I am in because people saw Colombia in the news and people were like, is it safe? Should you come home? I will keep my eyes open, always, for certain. Vigilant. Anywhere I go. I'm from Philly. Whether it's North Philly, Germantown, West Philly, Colombia, anywhere. But from a place where I should go, if I had to consider what my safety would be like in Colombia versus South Florida and or anywhere in the States, I am going to stay here. I'm going to stay here. And I say that in because a lot of places I was go probably be better situated where I was at. Seriously. The things, somebody told me, Colombia is on a level 3 travel advisory. I literally immediately asked them, do you know what the travel advisory is for non-Americans to travel to America? What level you guys are at? No. Because mass shootings don't happen where level 3 advisories are. You guys are worried about. People go to work every day, have enough food and money to pay, live in a place. They may be living with multiple people, but nobody is on the street if you work for somebody. If you have a job, you actually get 38 paid days off. Even a domestic worker that's a maid and cleans and cooks in somebody's house, she gets 38 paid days off. Or he. I tell y'all get a new job, 14 paid days off. You want to tell the group chat, I'm balling. So, over 5, there are 5,005. There are 5,005 reasons that you could possibly be moving abroad. But some of these are probably one of the highest things on there. Escaping American rat race, it is time for you to leave, because if you don't, you might look up and you might not be able to leave. You might be 65 years old and life has already passed you by if you are looking to start life then. That is, Americans tell you, oh, when you retire, that's when you can go see it. I'm not going to be wanting to just start seeing the world at 65. I'm black. I might not even make it to 65. That's real talk. Like, food, the food quality, they giving you lab grown meats and calling it cuisine. Seriously, 90% of the things, I won't say 90%, but no, it's a high percentage of the things that they allow in the Americans' foods that they will not serve to the people that they care about, because they're the citizens that are make up said country. Whereas America, you are a dollar amount and an ability to make said dollar amount. So if you happen to die, as long as we got enough citizens to keep making money, we are fine. You dead. So consider that when you guys are eating food in America. Seriously, food in America, trash. Every day going outside and considering, am I being a mass incident, and or am I going to be indoctrinating my child with something that they should never have to grow up under? With, I need to be able to have mass incident drills in elementary school, middle school, high school. These kids are growing up in fear, and they're getting comfortable with fear because you got comfortable with fear, and you are sitting there asking, is it safe to move abroad with my children? And it's not safe to live in America with their children. So consider these things. Consider these things. Because if you go to move abroad, guess what you're going to be able to do? You're going to have a higher quality of life because you're not spending all your on just life. You're no longer worried about a mass incident. Your kids, they get back to the 90s and they're actually going outside and playing with other children. Wow, you remember that? You remember that? There's an entire generation that's probably the generation under me, like people that like my age that had kids, those kids, they're growing up having dealt with the pandemic and electronic learning. They're growing up having been able to go outside in formative years. I know kids that started freshman year of college, they went through semester, and then the next time they was able to go to college, like a normal routine, was spring semester of senior year. All that money, same amount of money, no experience, no nothing. All these kids gonna have to grow up with that. That is what you guys subject your kids to. Never mind yourself, the ones that you might not have, the children you might not have. They're going to grow up with that, with a situation where even if you have a good job, how long are they going to allow you to bond with the kid that just grew in your stomach? As a father, how long are you going to be able to help you support your wife and or your child? And they just here, you got to teach them everything. Did y'all know that the kids don't have no directions? They don't know anything. Like if you don't teach them, they won't know. Did y'all know that? How can you give them what they actually need? You think going sending them to a daycare for $2,500 a month per kid? You think sending them to a school where we can tell them about actual history is being altered and or taken out to protect feelings of what it is that they folks done did? Like that is where you guys are. So when you call and you question people that live abroad and they want to know, is it safe? Consider where you are. Consider what you're going through. Consider that you one at one point used to get upset with what you wake up with and act like it's nothing anymore. But the moment somebody say live abroad, you say, why would I ever go to a third world country? God damn it, you live there. I don't live in no third world country. Shout Colombia. Shout out to Colombians, all colors of everywhere in the mountains by the coast, because I ain't been nowhere where anybody was like, I would never go back there. I would never go back to that city. They treated me bad. No. These people walk down the street, don't know you from a can of paint. Hello, how are you? Strike up a conversation with you. I like those sneakers. Where'd you get those from? Now, yes, it's in Spanish, but we don't even talk to people in our neighborhoods. How many of y'all live in a building, and y'all, whether it's an apartment building, whether you live on a block, do y'all know y'all neighbors? Remember, you used to know your neighbors. Neighbors be like, yo, get away from there. That's my man crib. Y'all neighbor like, that's not my business. Then I don't want to get shot. I'm not going to. So these 5 things are why I left. These 5 things might have hit on why you might be considering leaving. But I tell y'all, go write it down. See what it is that you're going to leave. Because you're going to get a lot more than 5. You're going to get a whole lot more than 5 in real life. Maybe that bald dude was on to something. Maybe he was right. Maybe. You got to come over here and see. It is up to you to figure out if you guys want your life to be what America says this is what you can have, or do you want to see what you could do? Do you believe in yourself not to be able to spend all your time and energy buying all this stuff, not seeing nothing, not doing anything, spending time away from your friends and family? Spending your time making someone else rich that can, them people don't work as much as you work 80 hours a week for somebody that might attend 3 hours worth of calls a week. And these are calls. All they got to do is say, yep, yep, yep. Some have worked very hard to get there. Shout out to those people. However, most of those people know that the people at the bottom are going to be the people that allow them to live the lives that they want to live and give them opportunity to advance, providing them a living wage. I don't know any solid business person that has people on payroll that actively work for them hourly and say, hey, this is I'm talking tonight, a job, and actually didn't get put there by somebody, actually worked their way up, and isn't paying their people a living wage. You know why? Because somebody that takes the stairs knows the grit and determination and the consistency that somebody needs to actually. And you could have all of those things and still not make it. So you're in a job where they're not giving you enough to even go to work and to come home and have home to come home to. Consider you might just be in a situation where the cost of goods outside is just a little too much, and maybe I can get and do something else. Like I said, you might make $60,000 and still got these ends barely meeting. But you could go and make $40,000 in a place somewhere else where your money could go further and things aren't just like, we're going to tap alive. And next thing you know, you could do more things that you could do back at home at your safe home base where you were so safe at. How many people on this live got seen somebody and or know somebody that has been murdered in the United States because of mass incidents? Not one-on-one, mass incidents. I know I do. I know a lot of people do. But that's not normal. So I'll leave y'all with that. I'll leave y'all with this. Please, 1, stop saying the word third world country unless you're going to say that America is one too. That's the first thing. 2, clearly understand why you're leaving. Because once you understand, you're going to be able to figure out where you're going and who has it for you. You're never going to find a perfect place. But make certain you are intent with what it is that you do. And last, the only way, listen, you guys are looking for a seat at the table. Stop. Right now. Why sit at a table that nobody wants you at? Why? Just to say you're there? To feel included? There's too many of us to want to do with anybody. We put our hats backwards, everybody put their hat backwards, but we want to sit at the table. The only way that we are going to get out of this, day 8, and day 8 rest of all of the other days, and the only way you have seen us be able to maneuver out of these things, it's the C word, community, community. You got to take those friends, family, you got to take those business associates, you got to take those people that are builders, that are willing to build with others, and understand that you have never seen us get out of any strife by ourselves. It means coming out of your household, working with other people, breaking traditions that may feel a little weird at this point, but you know what? You are comfortable with things that actually don't even feel weird. They actually hurt. They lead you in a state of fear. We have to pour back into our communities. We have to be more in commune with others in order. So many of you guys are looking at things and thinking, I don't want to look crazy. So struggle. Those are your choice. Look crazy or struggle. Look crazy and do something different. Let's reconnect with, like, seriously, I'm on here all the time. Like, follow me, please share this. Y'all can get on here, maybe ask me actual questions. You know, I try to do my best to stay relevant to what it is that you guys are actually going through. And we're at a time that most people aren't actually asking you guys. Shout out to Aunt Carol. Are y'all okay? How are y'all doing? Are y'all okay? I know a lot of y'all aren't. So I will let you guys go because tomorrow, back in the place, bright and early. But it's all good. I got some information for y'all head tops. I'm certain that Tuesday and all of the things what day 8 is going to bring will definitely give me guys something to check in with, guys. Make sure you're okay. Make sure you know I'm okay. I am okay out here in Colombia. I am not in a position where I'm nervous about anything. So many people smiled at me and said hello, and they definitely know I'm American because they probably used to hear me on the phone. I'm usually outside walking and talking. But I am perfectly fine. Thank you for anybody that reached out to me and asked me if I was okay, if I needed to come home. No, I'm asking if you guys are okay. Do you guys need to come over here? It's about to get real weird. So we keep on giving you these opportunities to learn how to, why I left. We're gonna keep hearing from other people. They're on live already. So if you guys go to YouTube, Black Expat Life in Colombia, you guys can go. We had Bintu on Saturday. If you missed that, she lives in Qatar. She'll be able to give you some information about Qatar. That is already uploaded. I'm going to get it up in the full episode, but the live is already available on YouTube. Excuse me. As well as Friday, we went live with William in Panama. Go Panama. Shout out to William. We talked about life in Panama. Panama is real close to Colombia, what that looks like, ins and outs. He also does relocation tours. We do relocation tours here in Medellin. That is moonshop.com. Bintu is also at Blacks in Qatar. That is both Instagram and I think .com. I think that's a website too. So she's got some information. A lot of teachers might want to tap in with Bintu because she is teaching abroad. She got a contract to teach abroad, and she only had teaching experience and a 4-year degree. She did not have a teaching certificate. So she's got actually, I think she told me an ebook that is out for that. Want to keep bringing these resources in for you, as you guys might sold only on Colombia. You might have somewhere else you may be looking for. I just want to be the resource that that lets you know I'm gonna look out for my community. That's why I said community is going to be one of the only ways that we are. Listen, I'm not looking to sit at the table. I am looking to build with you guys. I am looking to build with you guys, whether you're in America, whether you're here in Colombia, whether you are anywhere around the world, because that is what it's going to take for us to get through and actually thrive. Come out of this thrive opportunity to do so, but we have to take that and grab it by the horn. So, see you guys tomorrow. We will be doing kind of had one tonight. We're doing mental health, man. Mental health in the U.S. versus what your mental health can look like abroad, because so many of you don't even know what not being in fear looks like anymore, that you haven't even remembered the last time that you didn't have that on your body, and what you could possibly do with your life if you weren't just sitting there stressed. Is this the day? Who knows? We also got some special things. The website will be live soon, and there's going to be a special announcement. We'll be going live with those guys, and it is going to be a hell of a time. I cannot. 2025 travel calendar is here, and the relocation tours are here. We're going to be releasing some answering interesting information about the relocation tours that can kind of align more with the way that you want to travel, when you can travel, because I know that everybody might not be able to fit into a date that we set. If I give you more flexibility to fit into a date that you set, we're talking. So we'll get you guys that information. You guys can go right now, though, to movetravelcolombia.com. We've got so many free resources that are already there. Our experts live there: immigration, healthcare, real estate, short-term rentals, and long-term rentals, and buying property. We bring all those resources to you as well as these conversations as much as possible. I appreciate you guys as always. I am going to take it down. It's time to go eat dinner. Cena.